Hi, I'm Perry Black right here at Second Chance Youth Ranch TV, and on this show we have an adoptive dad from Hot Springs who's now currently a resident of Bryan, Arkansas, Wally Pollich, and you don't want to miss this tremendous testimony. Welcome to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. I'm your host, Perry Black, and on this show we have a very special guest, Wally Pollich.
Wally Pollich.
And also an adoptive dad. And as you know, Second Chance Youth Ranch TV is all about fostering, mentoring, adopting, and finding forever families for children that are in care. So Wally, welcome to the show, my
Thank you,
buddy.
Pastor Perry.
You know, at Family Church Bryant, I pastor several hundred people, but I pester thousands.
You bet.
And I'm one of your best pesters.
You are an extremely wonderful pastor.
An effective pester.
That's exactly right.
So, Wally, tell me a little bit about you. Where did you grow up?
You bet. I grew up, I was in California for the first 13 years of my life, and then we moved to Hot Springs, Arkansas. Went to Lake Hamilton High School.
You moved to Hot Springs, Arkansas at what age?
Right at 13.
13 years
13.
old. So you went to what school in Hot Springs?
Lake Hamilton.
Lake Hamilton. That's a beautiful area out there. Dr. Anderson has been and may still be the superintendent. I'm not sure if he didn't retire recently, but that's a beautiful school district. I own rental property out that way. And through some conversation some time ago, I found out that you grew up in a house a half a block from where I own real estate property.
That's exactly right.
Right off of Highway 70.
That's right. That's exactly
2 miles from Lake Hamilton schools.
Herschel Road.
Herschel Road. Well, don't tell them too much.
Oh.
But you grew up on Herschel Road, on the corner of
Yes.
Herschel and, do you know the street?
Westgate.
Westgate.
That's right.
And so there may be some people in the Hot Springs, Garland County area going, well, that's old Wally Pollich.
I bet there is, and it might be Pollich because that's they didn't always pronounce my name
Now, that
properly.
sounds to me like, because I'm in Arkansas, but that sounds Polish. Is that Polish?
It is not. It is German, actually.
Guten Tag, wie geht's? You don't
Okay.
speak German, neither
No, I
do I.
don't.
I got saved in Germany, though, but that's actually German.
Absolutely.
And so your heritage, like your parents, your grandparents, or great-grandparents grew up in Germany?
It is my great-grandparents. Yeah. Yep.
Amazing.
Yes, sir.
Do you know where in Germany?
You know, I don't. We had it was over in the, goodness, I just really can't remember the exact details of that.
Somewhere in Germany.
Somewhere in Germany.
In
Sorry.
Deutschland.
That's right. That's right.
So you guys, you grew up until the age of 13 in California.
Correct.
Moved to Hot Springs. Why would your family move to Hot Springs?
You know, I said that many times at that age.
Yeah.
I'm thankful today, though. Dad, our grandparents, my mom and dad, their parents were living in Wisconsin. They retired in Hot Springs. We came to visit,
Gotcha.
and that was the end of that story.
Yeah.
Dad, you were in California, and if you ever lived in California, it's a rat race, and they were always trying to get a way out. And so with my grandparents moving to Hot Springs, we came out and visited, liked it, and that's the end of that story, and we came out.
Yeah, now for over a decade, people from California are moving to places like Texas where the taxes are lower.
That's right.
And people from New York are moving to Florida where taxes are lower. And it might be changing the political demographic of those two states,
Probably
which may
so.
be important in the political arena. But y'all didn't do it because of politics, you did it because of family.
We did it because of family. We did it, it was a choice of a way of life. I live out in California, the hustle bustle, concrete, limited trees. You know, we were right in the city, so it very, very seldom.
What city did you grow up in?
Covina,
Covina. Where is that at?
It's in Southern California, about 45, 50 never
Well, you know, it never rains in Southern California. Did you know that?
I heard that.
That's
I heard
a
that.
song.
Many earthquakes, I will tell you, but not too much rain.
So, are you married?
I am married.
How many children do you
I have 4.
4 children.
4 children.
Do you have any idea how old they are?
Okay, let's see if we can do this. One was born in '89.
Well, that's not going to help
That's a special
us.
one.
You're going to make me do math?
He's 31. He's 31. And another in '07. And then we have 2 others. And we're a blended family. And so November of '06 actually, and another one is 15. So all the dates, I don't have all those down. But
Now, this may shock some people, but you're recently married, recent being in the last several years.
yes.
How long, when did you and your wife get married?
Well, that's an interesting story, actually.
That's the blended part of your
That's
family.
the blended part. That's correct. So she moved in next door. Actually, I didn't know her.
Well, love your neighbor. That's biblical.
Love the neighbor. I was doing so from afar, waving. And we actually met at Family Farm. It was after 3, 4, or 5 months after she moved in Malvern.
Yeah, that's a coach and a friend.
That's right. So
Retired
there was a
coach.
dog that was attacking a duck. And I saved the duck. So I was her hero.
There you go.
So she said, "Do I know you?" And she said, so that's how it started. So, well,
Now,
where
wait
do
a
you
minute. Family Farm's generally for children. Why were you at Family
live? I'm
Farm?
a big old kid at heart.
Were you on a school field trip,
No,
or were you just out there with your son?
We actually had an event out there for the church. And so we were out there.
Was that at our church?
No, it was another church at the time.
Previous church,
Yes,
okay.
Yeah.
And that's how y'all met at
That's
Family
how we
Farm.
met. Yep.
And that's Stan. Do you remember his last name? I cannot believe it. I can't think of his name, but he's a friend in our school, Arkansas Christian Academy, where your son goes to school.
Right.
We go out there at least once a year and take
beautiful
field
place.
trips for different age groups. So great ministry out
It
there
is
in
indeed.
Malvern.
Yes, we love it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where, even though y'all were neighbors, y'all actually met over a dog and a duck.
Over a dog and a
at
duck.
Family Farm.
She was, her house was on 10 acres. Mine was on 2. So there was a little distance. We would wave,
Yeah.
but really didn't know each other at all.
Yeah.
And till that moment, and we made small talk, and then beyond that, and so so we've been it's been 7, 8 years that we've been together now.
Yeah.
And 4 years marriage.
I'll be.
Yeah.
So you are retired. We have about 45 seconds in this segment. You're retired from the profession. What was your profession?
I was in sales. I was with under the PepsiCo umbrella in the Frito-Lay division.
Yeah, so that's
30
Pepsi and Frito-Lay and
That's
this
right.
big mega conglomerate.
That's right.
And your wife, what does she do?
She's a doctor
In Benton?
in Benton.
And she's family practice.
Family practice, that's correct.
And since you're also an adoptive dad, in our next segment, we want to talk about that and about the blended family.
You bet.
And how all that's transpired.
Okay.
And so we're going to take a brief break.
Sounds
and we'll
good.
be right back.
Sounds great.
Have you ever considered a Christian education for your child? Then you should check out Arkansas Christian Academy, Saline County's fully accredited premier Christian school at an affordable family rate. Students have opportunities to excel in academics, athletics, fine arts, and technology. And through our dual enrollment program, high school students can even achieve an associate's degree prior to graduation. Visit us at arkansaschristianacademy.org.
So we support a lot of foster care organizations across the state, but one of the reasons that we love Second Chance Ranch is that it's making a real difference in the hearts of kids. But what we love about Second Chance Ranch is what Pastor Perry says often, is that it's not a group home, but it's a group of homes. We're truly making a difference in the hearts of kids. There's two answers to why we think it's special to support Second Chance Ranch. From a company perspective, it's that our employees take pride in the fact that we support Second Chance Ranch. We showed the video that you guys put together at every Christmas party last year. And to see grown men and women crying in the audience as to what we're doing as an organization to support the ranch is powerful. From a personal perspective, you have to ask yourself, why has God blessed you with all of this? Wonderful company, wonderful employees, wonderful family. And the answer to that is that what makes it special in supporting foster care as a whole, and especially Second Chance Ranch, is the fact that we can give back to people who don't have that. And that's why it's so powerful, and that's why it's so special, and that's why it warms my heart to see the fact that we are making a difference in the lives of kids. So we do extensive research on any organization that we sponsor. And we look for two things. One is our money going to work? And the other is it making a difference? So our hearts are always to sponsor and support organizations that help Arkansans. We're a group of Arkansans, and we love our state, and we want to support Arkansans. And so what makes Second Chance Ranch unique is that you can see your money immediately go to the work in the hearts of kids. So our company started in 1927. We're fortunate enough to be one of the oldest companies in the state of Arkansas, celebrating over 90 years this year. We have 450 Arkansans that work hard across the state each and every day in 10 different locations, supporting the communities that we love and serve. We're proud to have a rich heritage. We're proud to be a part of foster care, and we're proud to serve the Arkansans that have been so gracious to do business with us over the last 90 years.
Welcome back to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV, and on this show we have a retired
That's
professional from PepsiCo Frito-Lay division.
That's correct.
German descent.
That's right.
Wally Pollich.
That's right. Or Pollich, however you want to go with it.
Yeah. The last, it's P-O-L-L-I-C-H.
Pronounced C-K.
Well, that means you don't know where your heritage is from, so let me help you a little bit.
There you go.
If it's Pollich, it would be Hochdeutsch, which would be Northern Germany.
Okay.
So we know you're from Northern Germany. That's your heritage.
I appreciate that help.
Well, I'm from L.A., Lower Arkansas. So we know your German heritage. We know you're retired.
Correct.
And you said there was a story about your last name from a friend at Frito-Lay.
What's really interesting is, many times people would change their last name as they would come over for different reasons.
Yep.
We won't get into why they changed our last name, but a good buddy of mine, Matt, his wife's last name, and ours used to be Bollick, by the way. They changed it. They removed the B, added a P. Yeah. I don't know if we're running from people. I don't know what we're doing, but nonetheless. Yeah. So they changed it. Well, what's interesting is my buddy Matt, his wife's maiden name was Bollick.
Oh, gotcha.
So, which is kind of neat. So we have talked a little bit about, and the general vicinity is relatively close. And so we have to dig into that to see what else we can find.
Well, there's organizations, you can spit in a cup or whatever, and they'll do your DNA.
That's right.
And you can find out.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing that. I'm not telling the government all about my DNA. They may never let me be on
That's
television
exactly
again.
Right. That's exactly right.
But now, you've been married
yes.
to your wife.
Correct.
Obviously, that's how you do it.
That's how
you
we
get
do it.
married to your wife. And she's a doctor in Benton.
Correct.
Y'all been married 4 years, and you have a blended family. She has 2 sons.
She has 2.
And you have one at home.
I do.
And can you give me an idea how you became, because your son is 13?
He is 13.
He's 13, and he is adopted.
Yes.
And just for those of you watching, we talked about this off camera, you already talked to him, and he's okay with you sharing a little bit of the story of how he became a Pollock.
That's right.
Is he a Pollock?
He is a Pollock.
That means he's adopted.
That's exactly right.
So tell me a little bit, how did that transpire?
I sure will. There's there's many wonderful days in our life, but one when my oldest was born, and then the other one when we adopted Colin, and that was pretty terrific. And it wasn't, with the way things roll sometimes, the way you meet people sometimes is very unique. And we met an individual through our business, and she was at a point in her life where the best thing that she could do was to give up Colin.
She was having some pretty serious personal issues.
Correct.
You knew her through your profession as a landlord, really.
That's right.
I mentioned I had rental property where you grew up.
That's right.
And through that, you have a lot of personal interactions. So through that, you met her.
We did.
She was in a struggle.
That's right.
A lot of people struggling in our society. Single mom.
She was.
And Colin was a little baby at the time.
He was a newborn.
And
what's really neat by the way, he was born on he has the same birthday I do. Which
I
is
did
pretty
not
neat.
know that.
January 16th. For those who want to give
notes.
gifts.
You tell me that so I can put that in my
January
phone and get you a gift?
Yeah, would you?
No. So through that, did you start keeping Colin some?
We did. We did. It was immediate.
Because, you can go through DCFS
That's
and
correct.
start the adoption process. You can work with Project Zero, The Call, Second Chance Youth Ranch.
That's right. And I will tell you, one of the, again, both those dates I spoke of, my oldest, which was a wonderful day, and with Colin was a wonderful day. And I would highly recommend doing so. And I'd do it all over again if it wasn't for me and being the age that I am. I'd have,
You'd have
10
more.
kids around me. So what we try to do is help out as much as we possibly can with
Yeah.
that. But yeah, we did. We hired an attorney and
How old was Colin at the time?
newborn.
Newborn. I mean, like
He was brand new.
brand new.
Like day one, day two, he was in our arms. And
So she had the baby at the hospital.
correct.
Did y'all take Colin home from the hospital?
We did not. It was 2-3 days afterwards that we began he was with us. And there's really a short amount, there was immediate bond.
Yeah.
And this little guy just, once he crawled on my chest and we were in that recliner and it was it. And so my dad was still alive at the time and we had Colin, we brought him over and we were visiting and he said, Walt, that's what he called me. He said, Walt, why don't you just keep him?
Who called you Walt?
My dad.
Because your name's really
I'm
Walter.
Walter.
Yeah.
And I'm actually the third. My oldest is actually Walter the fourth, so we all have nicknames throughout.
I got you.
So yes. So, but he said, oh, why don't you? He said, why don't you go ahead and adopt? Well, you know what? You keep him. I said, it's funny you said that, Dad. That's the reason we're over here tonight, just to let you know.
Golly, that's
Yeah.
cool.
It was cool. It was really neat. And,
So you went through the court direct. You didn't really go through DCFS direct.
We did not go
you
through
went
DCF.
to the judge
We went to the judge
in Saline County.
in Saline County. Yes, sir.
So you're no longer in Hot Springs. You're in Saline County. 13 years ago. How long you been in Saline County?
Well, we
20
let's see.
years.
Oh, it's been 25 years.
Yeah.
25 years.
So you went to the judge. I guess you would call that petitioning the judge. Was that a lengthy process?
What I remember, there's a certain amount of days they do background check, right? They
Home
look at us,
studies, all
they
kinds of
come out
stuff.
to the house, they do home study, background, and then there's a number of days, and I want to say it was 30. It's been a while now.
It's about a 6-month window now.
Total six. Yeah, that's right.
And after the child, regardless of the age, moves into the household, there's a 6-month period. And at any time, that adoptive family or the child, I think, has, and of course, Colin's case, he'd been an infant, but an older child can say this is not working.
That's right.
So after 6 months, about 6 months,
Yeah, it was final.
he was about 6 months or 7
It
months
was
old.
May of 07 is what I want to say.
Yeah.
When it was final.
I'll be, and when I met y'all, I didn't know he was adopted, so there is no stigma
There's
to
not.
adoption. But there are some steps you have to take. So we're going to take a brief break,
Okay.
and we're going to talk about how other folks right here in our viewing audience on Victory Television Network
Super.
can get involved and get some information and take the leap into fostering, mentoring, and or adopting, because there are children that want a loving family. We'll take a break and be right back.
A mission field around you is filled with young hearts needing a forever family. And at Second Chance Youth Ranch, our team is committed to providing healthy, stable, loving homes and families to hurting children in the Arkansas foster care system and those up for adoption. Please contact us if you feel the tug at your heart to help foster or adopt, and find out the steps you could take to help fulfill a child's lifelong dream. Maybe you can't foster or adopt, but you could help. The need for thousands of children in the system is staggering. But with the help of faithful partners and business alliances, we are meeting those needs right now. Would you help us make a difference? Every gift, regardless of size, impacts a child's life directly and helps provide for a home in the gap right now. Visit the Second Chance Youth Ranch website at 2CYR.org to read more, watch the stories, and to make a contribution for a hurting child's care. Monthly partners are needed, so please contact us right away. And as you partner with this ministry, you are partnering with the Heavenly Father that has promised to be Father to the fatherless. God bless you for helping Second Chance Youth Ranch.
Hey, welcome back. Our guest, Wally Pollich, an adoptive dad, adopted an infant.
That's correct.
13 years ago.
That's right.
This beautiful, handsome young man, is now 13.
He is 13.
Attends Arkansas Christian Academy. You guys attend Family Church in Bryant.
We do.
So let's just take a moment and do a commercial. You want to do a commercial?
Well, sure. Let's do it.
Is there a better school
There's
in
not.
Central
I knew
Arkansas
where you
than
were going
Arkansas
with it.
Christian
I
Academy?
knew where you're going. This is a wonderful school. You know what, I said so 5 years ago. See, Colin was in second grade when we came over here. And we were in church, and you asked me one day about school.
How did you come to were you a member of our Arkansas Christian Academy family first, or the church family first?
We came in in the sanctuary for a
Open house
for the church, for the school.
Yeah.
And then you and I talked at the back of the sanctuary.
Well, I remember wasn't that a Wednesday night?
It was.
And you came in with your wife,
That's
who
right.
was at that time your fiance. I'm not
That's
sure
right.
she knew she was the fiance at the time, but y'all were dating, if
That's
you
right.
will.
That's right.
And you were also with her dad.
He may have been with us at that
I
point.
know he
you
was.
have a
'cause
better memory
talked
than I
to him.
do. So,
well,
yes.
thank you. It's because I'm younger than you.
That's right.
I already
That's right.
told you
Much
that,
younger.
remember? And as a result, y'all made a connection with me
We did.
and the school.
You did. We did.
And you're now, are you the president of the Parent Teachers Organization this year?
I am. This year and last year.
And let me just say this about Colin. The PTO sponsored a new playground area to expand our playground for Arkansas Christian Academy. And that's why I brought the school up, because just about a month ago, you and Colin came up with your little tractor.
That's right.
And Colin was out there operating
Operating the backhoe.
the backhoe while we
right.
were setting some pipes
That's
to
right.
expand the playground. Right after the city had come by and said, "What are y'all doing? You don't have a permit."
We got pestered a little bit on that. But we came out of that one okay.
And we talked our way out
We
of it.
did indeed.
And the city guys, they were really nice, but they said, "You need a permit."
That's right.
And I said, "Well, where do you get the permit?" They said, "Down at the police department." And I said, "I'm not going."
That's right. I said, I will go in your place.
Yeah, so I sent Wally. So
You know,
we-
there's something after
Yeah.
that I got to tell you. So you remember we were talking out there up back.
Yeah.
And I pay Colin when he works. I pay him. But you came up and you said, "Now, Colin, you know, that's a professional job you're on
That is
on
a
that
professional
backhoe." He said,
job.
"Now, how much is Dad paying you?" And I think I was paying him $10 or $15 or $10 an hour. And you said, "Well, you know, in that profession, you can get paid $100." It was a long ride home, I got to tell you, to convince him to understand that he wasn't going to get $100 per hour.
His 13-year-old brain said, "Wait a minute, what's this $10
That's
thing?"
right. He took his phone out and started using
Yeah.
a calculator, and off he
Yeah.
went.
Well, my point was, you know, and again, being a founder of a school, the point being that you can dig a hole with a shovel.
That's right.
Or you can do it with a tractor, a track hoe, backhoe.
That's right.
And the knowledge to operate that equipment.
That's right.
You're still digging a hole.
Right.
But the knowledge is power.
That's right.
And you get paid for what you know if you utilize that.
Well, you dropped that in the back of his mind, so
He's
his wages went
calculating.
up.
What
Yeah,
grade's he going to be in this year?
He'll be in 8th grade
And you guys have been coming to Family Church
ever since.
for over 5 years now.
Ever since.
Seems longer, doesn't it?
It does seem longer. I'm not sure why. But no, it's been great. You know, I will tell you something else too. You know, at the time that we brought in Colin to our life, my oldest was 18. And you know, you wonder how that's going to go. But what I will tell you, when you see them together today, it's one of the most special things that you can see.
31-year-old and a 13-year-old.
That's right, brothers.
Big brother.
Big brother. And he is, Ryan is so good with him, and Colin just loves him. He adores him. And so it just goes to show it doesn't really matter where you're at in your life, that this can work. This works.
Yeah.
And taking care of a little one like that was just incredible.
What was it like? Now this is getting real personal, but when you and Kristen got married, and she had 2 sons.
Right.
And what age are they right now?
Right now, so there's a 13 and a 15.
And so you've got those 2
So
boys.
Nick is 13,
and then you
Colin
got
is
Colin,
13.
and a blended family.
That's right.
That have a few challenges. Everybody blending together.
There can be. You know,
Yeah.
if you don't sit down and talk through things.
Just having teenagers, period, can be a challenge.
Teenagers by themselves are a challenge, but you know the most important thing is that you sit down and communicate.
Yeah.
And you know, and you have to really force yourself to do that. Not to say that we don't want to, but if you don't, you're going to let things slip through the cracks. You have schedules. Everyone has their own schedule, whether it's sports, music, at the school during an activity, up here at the church. You know, so you really have to communicate and make sure that everyone's working together.
Yeah, a lot going on. How important is a local church?
Extremely.
Because you've been involved in church virtually
Most of
your life,
Most of
your adult life for sure.
And what's really neat about, you know, I have to put a plug in because One, not only are you my pastor, but you're my friend. And we have, I have grown as an individual, as a Christian, and by being a part of this church. From so many activities to be involved in, helping out, whether it's the school, the PTO, the church,
The ranch?
bringing in our special friends from Civitan and doing joint programs.
Yeah, let's talk about that. We got about a minute and a half, and I want to talk about that because Civitan, you were on the board there.
Yes.
Civitan Bryant.
Correct.
We only got a minute.
Okay.
But those very special young people
That's right.
come to our campus at least twice a year. Our high school students escort them. They come into our teens and 20s building,
That's right.
our administrative building as well, where we have a coffee shop that
Right.
serves special blends of coffee for some of our events. And they teach those young people from Civitan how to take an order,
That's right.
how to ring it up, how to make the coffee blends.
That's right.
And then they go around to our school and our administrative staff. And on staff here on a given day, we'll have 75 or 80 people.
That's right.
And they'll take orders.
Yep.
They come back to the coffee shop and
They
make
make it.
them.
They make it.
And then of course, we sponsor the coffee. It's free.
right.
But they get so excited, and it's such a blessing for our high school students to work with those. And through that, they've made some tremendous friendships and contacts with our special friends at the Civitan.
This one's this.
Oh
that's
gosh,
right.
we got 1 minute.
1 minute. All right, I'll make it quick. This has been a most beautiful relationship that I could ever see from a special needs and kids out of school.
Yeah.
You know, most they really don't understand special needs, and there's a barrier there. But the barrier has been brought down to understand and to love one another, and that's what we're supposed to do.
That's what we're supposed to
Is
do.
love one another and
Yeah.
teach and be right there for everybody. There has been so many blessings that have been brought out of this because of that program that we started. And
Yeah, Wally, and that's really what Second Chance Ranch TV is all about. It's to let you know the great opportunities that people have to explore adoption, mentoring, and fostering. And that there's organizations like us, the Call Project Zero, and organizations like Civitan, that if we would all work together, we could make a monumental difference and impact in our community
Yes.
and in our state. And we want to keep you connected. So would you connect with us here at 2CYR-TV? Information's available, our website, 2CYR.org, and let us know how we can help you. We're praying for you. We're praying that God inspires and encourages and impacts your life, and that you would get connected with a local church that has a vision to change the world one heart and one life at a time, just like Wally has through adoption. So God bless you. We'll see you next time right here at Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Bye-bye.